What up, UREP Nation? Welcome into the 143. We are back with you live under
It's
review.
the 1 year. Actually, I believe yesterday, exactly to the date, yesterday as in Monday, was exactly 1 year.
When Nick and I first sat here at the table that used to be here in the studio, we never envisioned it would be like this. But we are happy to have made it this far. And we just want to say thank you to all of y'all for helping us get to this point, because we wouldn't be where we were if it wasn't for our listeners. And we apologize for all of the first at least 10 episodes that we had that sounded like we were in a different room recording.
Yeah, recording it through our phone. We were still figuring things out.
But we got it now, and it feels good getting to this point. This is what you look forward to. As a podcasting company, corporation, whatever you want to call it. Also, just want to say a major thank you to our sponsor, Andrews Logistics. A big reason why we've come this far is because we've had their support and their help. And just want to say thank you to them. Nick's rocking the hat as usual. So, just thank you. Thank you to everyone that got us this far. And obviously, you want to say thank you to Nick, because without Nick, there would be no under review. So.
Absolutely. And I would like to say thank you to Joseph, because he is the review to the under. It's a 50-50.
That might make me cry.
50-50 ball here.
We're happy today because not only is it our 1 year, actually, let's go back to the year before. We started this podcast with the wild card round.
Griping about the Cowboys' loss to the 49ers, which was extremely upsetting. But it's utterly the complete opposite today, because we have good things to say about the Cowboys, because they were able to beat the Buccaneers on Monday Night Football.
And we are overjoyed because, honestly, we didn't know if the Cowboys had what it takes to win a playoff game. But they did. At least one, and maybe three more. Hopefully. But that was a great game from all our guys, and we are ready to talk about it. Happy 1 year at Under Review. Let's get started with our stat of the week, brought to you by Andrews Logistics. But I'm going to throw in a little twist. I have two stats this week. And they're both about Tom Brady. Before yesterday, Tom Brady was 35. He had 35 playoff wins in his career. And the Cowboys also had 35 total playoff wins in their career, just like the Cowboys franchise.
It's a franchise.
And yesterday, Tom Brady was 7-0 against the Cowboys all time. Now those stats have changed. The Cowboys now have 36 playoff wins, and Tom Brady still has 35. And Tom Brady is now 7-1 because the Dallas Cowboys won, baby.
I would also like to point out, we're 7-1, but of those 8 games, we won the one game that mattered.
We did.
Those other 7 were regular season games.
We've never played him in the playoffs before.
Who cares? This was our first playoff meeting, and this is the first time beating him. So we beat Tom the
won
one time it actually mattered.
We did.
So I'm happy with that.
I'm super happy.
And then what was the second stat?
Those were the two
stats. Okay, sorry. Your player of the week, Dak Prescott. Obviously, I mean, he put on an absolute clinic yesterday, bounced back from an awful week last week, and put on a show.
I mean, it was insane to watch.
In our 31-14 win, he had 305 yards, completing 25 of his 33 passes, 4 passing touchdowns, and a rushing touchdown. What? Where did that come from?
I was shocked. I say a lot of things about Dak on this show.
More importantly, no interceptions.
No interceptions. It's been 8 games since he has had no interceptions.
He was playing basically flawless football yesterday.
I would
argue.
And we were just sitting there waiting for something to happen, But he just kept throwing dimes.
Absolutely.
Can I throw another stat out there?
Absolutely.
Because I am the stat
right
guy.
ahead.
So I just want to say congrats to Brett Maher for making history, becoming the first field goal kicker to miss 3 or more extra point attempts in a game, a playoff game. That was remarkable to watch. Not great, remarkable, but just terrible. And I really need him to kick as many extra points this week as he possibly can.
There's 2 things that I think that I took from that. One, okay, not that huge of a deal because it did not come down to extra points to win that game. So at least he didn't basically lose the game for us in doing that. And the other thing was Dak mentioned in his post-game interview, he was like, I mean, he just I'm paraphrasing what he said. He was basically saying that, hey, Dak Prescott, played horrible last week against the Commanders, which he did. But then he came back right the next week, playoff game, bounced back, played one of the greatest games of his life. And so he was saying, just tell Brett Maher, basically, shake it off. We got another week of football left.
He's
Prove
been good all
everyone wrong
season.
next week.
Brett's been good all season.
He's been great. He's been great.
So hopefully just one bad game. And didn't even matter. So we really can't have that against the 49ers. So I'm really hoping that he gets it.
It just stinks because I think when you miss that first one, it just creates that mental blockade.
You're on the road, so
to where you're like, I can't miss another one. And then you miss the second one. And so I feel like after
he did make one, though.
The doubts continue to pile. He did make one.
So I just want to give him credit for that. Let's dive into it, though. I mean, there's not much to discuss with the Cowboys other than the fact that we were just shocked we showed up to play. So after the Commanders lost, we didn't know what Cowboys we were going to get this week, as we said last week. But I think they heard that it was Under Review's 1-year anniversary, and they wanted to give us something happy to talk about today. And so Dak just decided to play like Patrick Mahomes, and he did, and it was incredible. I was in awe.
And the Cowboys were on upset alert. Like, they were going to Tampa to play playoff Tom in the playoffs. So I think a lot of people were skeptical about what the Cowboys were going to
Well, even though they were the Vegas favorites, I don't think many people actually believe the Cowboys would win this game.
No, absolutely not.
I know me, for one, it's just like you never can count Tom Brady out in the playoffs.
I think there were 3 teams on upset alert this weekend. I think it was the Chargers, I think it was the Cowboys, and then I also think it was the Vikings, right?
The Giants.
No, the Vikings were on upset alert.
Upset alert.
Sorry.
Okay, my bad.
And obviously the Vikings lost the Giants, the Chargers lost the Jags, and then the Cowboys proved everyone wrong, all the haters wrong. And now everyone wants to say that, Tampa Bay's bad, and this, that, and
Tampa
the other.
Bay wasn't bad before the game, but now they're bad.
They have a solid defense, and Dak just picked them apart. Like
their offense was pretty bad. I'll give them that. Brady was off yesterday. I'm not sure what's going on with Brady. We don't know if he'll be back, but that's not what this episode is about. But just incredible. Dalton Schultz played out of his mind yesterday.
Who knows if he comes back here next year, if we send him somewhere else. But
we've got some good tight ends.
He's got to continue playing like that.
We've got some good tight ends.
Play like your career is on the line.
If he keeps playing like that through the playoffs, I think Jerry will sign him.
I think Jake Ferguson's a great backup. We saw. I think he had 1 catch yesterday.
It was a kind of a big catch.
It was a nice yak. Yards after catch, he took it, and I think he trucked like one guy.
He did.
But I was confident in Jake Ferguson, and I was confident in Dalton Schultz. I mean, Dalton Schultz had almost 100 yards as well on top of the 2 touchdowns.
He did. All our receivers were great. Noah Brown got involved. Michael Gallup came out of nowhere with a few great catches, and just the easy slants that he doesn't normally catch, he caught those. And we were just firing on all cylinders yesterday.
Dude, what I found out is our third down receiver is T.Y. Hilton.
T.Y. Hilton is a dog.
They put in work on third down. Like, it's ridiculous. I mean, everyone has their job on the team, and it is T.Y. Hilton's job to get a first down on a third down.
I look for that 18.
You can appreciate that.
On third down, you look for that 1-8, and you just see him, and you're like, it's going there.
1-6.
And we even try to – wait, what?
1-6.
1-6. Obviously, I look for 16.
Yep.
Did I say 18?
Yeah.
That's on me. We'll edit that out. I'll get our editor to edit that out. Just kidding. We don't have one. So
one thing I saw yesterday defensively that I thought would help us extremely against the 49ers is – so we had Tom Brady, the GOAT. He was struggling
Very
back
much
there.
so.
He threw some terrible balls, underthrown, straight into the grass,
and he has a good O-line.
This, that, and the other. Yes, he has a good O-line. So what was happening was our defensive line and linebackers were absolutely shredding the Bucs' offensive line, pressuring him, flustering him, causing him to make quick decisions and make terrible passes. And if you can do that to the GOAT, undisputed GOAT, I mean, I think then you should also be able to do that against
Mr. Irrelevant,
the last pick of the draft. Brock Purdy's great.
He's been
49ers
very good.
offense is great, but I think that if our pass rush can be like that again,
we
might have a chance.
But we see the thing is, and this is why the 49ers game is going to be so tough. The 49ers are just well-rounded, and they're looking like the favorites
every level.
right now. I don't know who would beat the 49ers. I can't even say the Chiefs would beat the 49ers. Right now, stopping the run game and their pass game. Deebo Samuel and Christian McCaffrey, very hard to do. George Kittle, they just have a weapon at every position on the field. That's why it's just going to be so tough.
Also, it's not necessarily like you don't have to necessarily be the better team. It's about getting hot at the right time. I mean, people are going to look back at the Bengals last year. I understand they lost, but they weren't amazing. Their defense was pretty average. Their O-line was awful. All they had going for them was a great quarterback and a great wide receiver core. So it's about getting hot at the right time, and I'm hoping that we can ride this wave of success into the next round and hopefully 2 more rounds.
I'm with you. I really hope this is what we do. It'll be tough just to get to the Super Bowl right now with the NFC teams that are out there. But great job this week from the Cowboys.
Absolutely.
We're going to focus on this week right now, and hopefully they're getting ready. Well, we know they're getting ready, and
they better be.
We know they're wanting to get at it. So great win and just great job all around by everyone. We don't want to talk too much about this game, but Chargers-Jags, that was just a sad outing from the Chargers. Having 4 picks and leading
5 takeaways in the first half.
Just leading by 20 at halftime and then blowing that lead to Trevor Lawrence.
Personally, I would not pin that on the defense.
It wasn't the defense's fault.
I mean, you gotta finish games, okay? You gotta score points offensively throughout the entire game. Like you had a great first half if you're Justin Herbert, but you struggled the entire second half.
Yeah.
And Austin Eckler was struggling running wise the second half, right? He was phenomenal the first half, but he was not getting work.
I think it goes back to what we've been saying about Justin Herbert this season. He's still got a ways to go. We've seen that when the ball's in his hands in like the last minute or the last, like he had a chance in the last 5 minutes of the game to go down and score. I don't think he's gotten there where he can be clutch yet. And so he showed that game, and then that gives me a nice transition into Josh Allen as well. I don't know if as a Bills fan right now I would be looking too confident about the Bengals coming to town because the Bills looked really bad against a third-string quarterback.
The Bills' best player Sunday was the play clock.
It was. It helped them.
Countless delay of games and a huge delay of game on a 4th and 2 at the end of the game, which the Dolphins turned the ball over, and that ultimately ended the game. But I agree with Joseph. I mean, if you're a Bills fan, I would be concerned.
Literally one player was picking apart your defense. Tyreek Hill was triple teamed, and they still got the ball to him.
I don't know why they didn't throw it to him every single play.
How do you know if that was just Tyreek Hill? How are you going to guard Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd?
Well, let's say you make it past that round and you face the Chiefs. Well, Patrick Mahomes can make anybody look like Tyreek Hill.
That's true.
He can pick you apart with the best receiver on his team. He can pick you apart with the wide receiver 4 on the team.
Or
and
6.
You got to worry about Travis Kelce, who is an absolute menace on the field.
It is going to be a very tough game for the Bills against the Bengals.
I mean, they looked great for 2 quarters. I would say about a quarter and a half.
It's going to come down to Josh Allen and how he plays. Because he gave the ball away a lot. Credit to Miami's defense. They played out of their mind. They're the only reason that the Dolphins were in the game at all. And it's going to come down to that. I know a lot of people want the rematch of the Bills-Chiefs because of how it ended last year with overtime.
I don't know if that'll happen. I mean,
I don't either.
In my opinion, I think Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes have kind of pulled away from the pack just because they've played consistently well, and they've both proven that they can clutch up in games. Josh Allen nearly choked that game away against the Dolphins' third stringer, Skylar Thompson, who was awful. And then Justin Herbert, same thing. Ball's in his hands, and he continues to choke on big moments. I mean, it's just kind of... I would be still concerned as a Bills fan. You have a well-rounded team. I would argue, a very, very well-rounded team, but it's just a lot of sloppiness as well.
I'm looking forward to the AFC matchups this weekend. I think that they're going to be some good games, some exciting games. I mean, I really can't count the Jags out completely out against Kansas City just because they are kind of hot right now. Obviously, I do think the Chiefs will win that game, and I'm really hoping they win that game because I'm kind of tired of all the Jags hype. But
yeah, that's got to end. I would agree.
I don't know who Trevor Lawrence thinks he is after barely beating the Chargers, coming out and calling Dallas out. We're not even in the same conference.
That's what frustrated me the most is he was praising their kicker, and he basically said, he did it against Dallas, and it was like, those are two completely different scenarios.
Exactly. Noah Brown did it for Dallas and gave y'all the win.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I didn't like that, so I'm hoping the Jags lose or make it to the Super Bowl and we make it to the Super Bowl. And we play them. That would be kind of nice too. Only if we get a win. But the AFC will be exciting. The NFC, Eagles, Giants. The Giants did great against the Vikings, but we all kind of called the Vikings, or at least we did, called the Vikings losing to the Giants. Kirk Cousins just wasn't up to the task.
I mean, we said Kirk Cousins wasn't clutch. Did we not?
We did.
And he proved that.
On a 4th and 8, you threw it a 3-yard pass to your covered tight end.
Yeah, that's what kind of was the tipping point for me that Kirk is not clutch, because he had the chance to make the game-tying drive or game-winning if they had chosen to go for 2,
right.
But they just stalled out offensively. Justin Jefferson was struggling to get involved, held him to less than 50.
They did.
I believe. But Daniel Jones put on a clinic. So did Saquon Barkley. I mean, their guys showed up and kind of took control of the game, and that's what ultimately led to them beating Minnesota in Minneapolis.
I think the Giants-Eagles game will be pretty one-sided. I think the Eagles will win, but I got to say, I don't love either team. Obviously, don't like the Eagles, so got to go with the Giants on this one. Plus, if the Giants are somehow able to win in Philly and we are somehow able to win in San Francisco, then the NFC Championship will be in Dallas, which would be just phenomenal. So, in a perfect world with two just absolute upsets, because the Cowboys will be the pretty heavy underdog against San Francisco.
Here's one thing I'd like to say. If the Cowboys beat the 49ers, they're winning the Super Bowl. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay.
Because the 49ers are...
They are the team.
They are the team to beat, not just in the NFC, but I think just overall.
Their defense is number 1 in the league. Their offense is honestly probably
I would argue
either 1 or 2.
It got better with Brock Purdy being added.
It did.
Week whatever that was.
Brock Purdy's
he's
shown
undefeated.
that he's capable.
He has not lost yet. He threw for 330 yards, I believe, and 3 touchdowns.
Christian
no
McCaffrey is
interceptions.
scary. I mean, there's no getting around it. He's so good, and against our run defense, which is not that great, I'm a little scared.
George Kittle's production has increased since the addition to Brock Purdy in the starting roster, and obviously they have countless weapons, offensively and defensively, that we are going to have to account for.
And
this is going to be a way different game than it was at
It's an
Tampa
away
Bay.
game, and the 49ers have had our number for a while now. So basically, all the odds are against
But
us.
the other thing is, I think the Cowboys play well as underdogs.
They do. They play to the level of their opponent, as we've said.
We've played our best football right after a loss. We proved that this week against the Buccaneers, and obviously we're going to be heavy underdogs, like Joseph said, but I would argue that's when we play well.
I completely agree. I don't know whether I'm looking forward to this game or I'm scared of this game, but we're going to have a game, and it is going to be a
I don't
tough
think it's going to
game
be a
win.
blowout.
It'll be a tough game to win.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way. If the 49ers win, I think it's going to be barely. And if we win, I think it'll be barely.
I agree, but it'll be a good game nevertheless. There's some great playoff games coming up this week.
Absolutely.
This is playoff football, what we live for. We are pumped, and we are just so happy the Cowboys are still in it. So
Finally saw
Thank you,
ourselves
Dak.
a playoff win. If that Dak defense shows up every week,
we'll be all
we
right.
will be big chillin'. So, in light of this Cowboys win, it got me hyped up seeing Troy Aikman and Jimmy Johnson, right? Because I follow this page on Instagram, stacked dynasty. And every time the Cowboys win, it's this little clip of Jimmy in the locker room. So I would like to leave you with this quote. This is your quote for the week. How about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys?
That's what I would like to leave you with.
And how about under review with 1 year? This is just a great week all around.
Absolutely.
This is just amazing. And go Cowboys. Everybody, watch the game Sunday night. And let's hope for a Cowboys win. Thank y'all for tuning in this week. We will be back next week, as we always are, with another episode from Under Review. Thank you very much.